I need to ask you something. When someone says dark chocolate, do you actually know what makes it dark? Or when a pastry chef hands you something called ruby chocolate, do you know what you just ate? So today we're fixing that. Every type of chocolate is explained. Where it came from, what's actually in it, why it tastes the way it does, and which ones are genuinely worth your money and which ones are not even chocolate. Let's begin. Chocolate 1 is dark chocolate. It is 3,500 years old and still the most misunderstood one in the room. Back in the 1500 BCE, the Olmec civilization in Mesoamerica was cultivating the cacao tree and prized cacao beans so highly that they used them as money. You could buy things with cacao beans. Fast forward to today. Dark chocolate must contain at least 50% cacao solids by law. Premium versions go up to 99%. That percentage on the wrapper isn't a health score or a bragging number. It's telling you exactly how much of what you're eating came from the actual cacao bean versus added sugar. 70% dark chocolate means 70% bean, 30% sugar. 99% means almost no sugar, which is why eating 99% dark chocolate for the first time is an experience that rearranges your understanding of what bitter means. Use dark chocolate for eating straight, baking anything serious, ganaches, truffles, drinking chocolate, and impressing anyone who asks what you brought to the dinner party. Chocolate 2 is milk chocolate. The year is 1867. A Swiss chocolatier named Daniel Peter is staring at a bowl of chocolate and a glass of milk, and wondering why the two absolutely refuse to cooperate. The water in fresh milk keeps causing the mixture to spoil, separate, and generally become a disaster. He has been working on this problem for 8 years. 8 years of failed chocolate. His breakthrough came when he walked next door. Literally, his neighbor was Henri Nestlé, who had just invented powdered milk. Powdered milk has almost no water content, which solved Peter's entire problem overnight. Together, they created the first stable milk chocolate in 1875. American milk chocolate has a distinctive, slightly sour tang that confuses people raised on European chocolate. That's not a flaw. Hershey's original recipe used partially lipolyzed milk, a preservation technique common before refrigeration was widespread. That slightly tangy, almost funky quality became so embedded in American culture that it's now considered the standard. Everything you loved as a child, hot cocoa, coating strawberries, gifting to anyone who claims not to have a sweet tooth, and being the chocolate that genuinely makes most people on Earth happiest. Chocolate 3 is white chocolate, which is technically not chocolate. The FDA took until 2004 to deal with this. I need everyone who loves white chocolate to take a breath, because what I'm about to say is technically true. White chocolate is not chocolate. There it is. It contains no cocoa solids. It is made from cocoa butter, sugar, and milk. While it comes from the cocoa bean, it contains none of the compounds that define chocolate flavor. Nestlé introduced it commercially in 1930 with the Galac bar in Europe, and chocolate purists have been upset about it ever since. But here's the thing. The reason some chocolatiers actually love working with white chocolate is precisely that it has no strong chocolate flavor of its own. It's a canvas. It carries other flavors like vanilla, matcha, freeze-dried raspberry, and lavender. White chocolate is notoriously difficult to work with because cocoa butter melts at body temperature. The temperamental nature of white chocolate is one of the main reasons pastry chefs charge more for white chocolate work. Use white chocolate for ganaches with unusual flavors, coating matcha truffles, dessert decoration, blondies, anything where you want creaminess and sweetness without the chocolate competing with other flavors. Chocolate number 4 is ruby chocolate. In 2017, a Swiss chocolate company called Barry Callebaut announced something that the chocolate world had not seen in 80 years. A fourth type of chocolate, pink naturally and no added coloring, no fruit flavoring, no artificial anything. Ruby chocolate comes from specially processed ruby cacao beans found in Ecuador, Brazil, and the Ivory Coast. These beans naturally contain precursors that, when processed without fermentation, produce a ruby chocolate must contain at least 47.3% cocoa products to meet chocolate standards, sitting somewhere between milk and dark in composition. The flavor is genuinely unlike anything else in the chocolate family. Tart, fruity, and a little acidic, like someone crossed chocolate with a raspberry yogurt. It is polarizing in exactly the way that interesting things tend to be. Use ruby chocolate for desserts where you want a pop of natural pink color without food dye, tart sweet flavor contrasts, or any occasion where you want to say fourth type of chocolate. What's the best chocolate you have ever tasted in your life? Comment your choice below. Chocolate 5 is blonde chocolate, which is the greatest accident in the history of dessert. One of the best chocolates in the world was created because a French pastry chef forgot to turn off a bain-marie. In 2006, Frederic Beau at Valrhona left white chocolate in a bain-marie for far too long. Instead of burning or ruining, something unexpected happened. The milk solids began to caramelize. The chocolate turned golden, and when he tasted it, tasted like salted caramel and a richness and depth that white chocolate had never had before. He called it Dulce, and Valrhona commercialized it in 2012. Use blonde chocolate for frosting, ganache, cookies. Chocolate 6 is the Modica chocolate. Modica chocolate comes from the town of Modica in Sicily, and the recipe has been virtually unchanged since the 16th century, when Spanish conquistadors brought it from the Aztecs, which makes this technically the most historically authentic European chocolate on this list. Here's what makes Modica genuinely unusual. It is never conched, never refined and processed at low temperatures, never exceeding 40 degrees Celsius, so the sugar crystals don't dissolve. Instead of melting smoothly on your tongue, Modica chocolate crumbles. Traditional flavors are cinnamon, vanilla, and chili pepper, exactly as the Aztecs made them. Chocolate 7 is raw chocolate, the one the health community loves, and chefs are more cautious about. Raw chocolate is made from cocoa beans that have never been roasted and kept below 42 degrees Celsius throughout the entire process to preserve enzymes and antioxidants that roasting would destroy. The raw food movement popularized this in the 2000s, making bold claims about health benefits from unprocessed cacao. And some of those claims have genuine scientific backing, where roasting does reduce certain antioxidant compounds. The result is more bitter, more astringent, and significantly more intense than roasted chocolate. It's not bad. It's just genuinely different from what most people mean when they say chocolate. Use it for health-conscious chocolate preparations, raw food recipes, anyone managing specific dietary requirements, and giving to the one person in your life who insists on unprocessed everything. Chocolate 8 is drinking chocolate. Before chocolate was a solid bar, before any of what we've discussed today existed, chocolate was a drink, and it looked nothing like what you'd expect. The Mayans and Aztecs drank it cold, bitter, and mixed with chili peppers, cornmeal, and water. No sugar, no milk, and no sweetness. What we would call inedible, they considered sacred, ceremonial, medicinal, and reserved for warriors, priests, and rulers. The word chocolate itself is derived from the Nahuatl word zocolotl, meaning bitter water. When Spanish conquistadors brought cacao to Europe in the year 1500, they added sugar and served it hot. It became a luxury drink for European aristocrats. European drinking chocolate is categorically different from hot cocoa powder mixed with hot water. It's made by melting actual real chocolate into milk or water. In every case, the chocolate is the main ingredient, not a flavoring. 10 types of chocolate. 3,500 years of history. Here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Chocolate is not one thing. It never was. Every variety on this table exists because someone, somewhere, was trying to solve a problem like a supply chain issue, a texture challenge, or a question of preservation and stumbled into something remarkable. The greatest food category on Earth was built almost entirely by accident, crisis, and stubborn curiosity. Share this with the chocolate lover in your life. Save it for the next time you're at a tasting and want to sound like you actually belong there. Subscribe to our channel for more cool videos.